Welcome back. Today we will be doing our keynotes and aligning all our drawings on our sheets for publishing. So let's start by creating dimensions on our floor plan. So add dimensions, I'm going to go DI and I'm just going to select my walls. Now for the second line I am going to take the big segments and the last one is the entire length. Now let's do the top side. As you can see, Revit is auto-snapping our text into alignment. So you don't have to worry about your dimension spacing as Revit would auto-snap onto them. Just need to fix this dimension line. I need to move it from the inside to the outside. So I'm going to take this witness line, the move witness line option, and click and hold, and I'm going to select the outside of my wall. Okay, so I'm going to my west side. Let's do our segments. Now for our south side. And take the outside of my planters. So now we want to get rid of all these witness lines that's connected to our drawing. So go ahead and click on any one of your dimensions. Then go to edit type. As you can see here, witness line control. We need to change this from gap to element. Just click on the drop down. As soon as move this, see why my Revit is not playing along with me. I'm going to change that to fixed to dimension line. And my text size I need to change to 2.5 millimeters. And now I can just hit. I'm going to change my font to my bunch script, apply, and OK. Now you can see Revit has cleaned up our dimension lines. So with instances like this where your dimension line is over another, just go ahead and click on that dimension line. You'll see your move for drag text. Just drag, click and drag, and you'll see Revit will create that witness line for that dimension. let's just clean up all those dims that are not quite neat. So I'm gonna hide my reference plane, gonna extend this section. There we have our cleaned up floor plan. Let's see if we can. So for my site plan, I'm going to hide my elevation tags. I'm going to say select all instances visible in view. Right click, hide in view elements. And I'm going to change this to true north. I'm just going to click on my view and use my arrow key to move it and put into place. So you can see it's also a reference plane that I need to hide. And I'm going to take my earth number and just move it onto the property. Okay, so now we have our first page set up. Now we need to do our elevations. I'm going to start with my east elevation. I'm going to uncheck my crop region visible to hide this line. And now I'm just going to select one section. Go to select all instances, visible in view, hide. Same with my reference planes. So now we want to start hiding some dimensions to clean up our drawing. So foundation I'm going to hide. I work on Azure. Then I hide the wall plate. I hide that wall plate. So now as you can see there is a drawing file within this drawing. So I'm gonna hit VG, go to my imported categories. And I'm just gonna unselect all these drawing files that I've imported, hit apply and OK. As you can see now that it is hidden. So I'm going to delete these two windows because they won't be able to be there because this wall is on our boundary wall. So I'm going to select my garage finish floor level, and on this tick box I'm going to untick that because I want to showcase it on the other side. So now we need to annotate our roof heights. So just select your private space FFL, press CO on your keyboard for copy, and I'm just going to move two of them up. And now we're going to use the align tool. So press AL on your keyboard and select the top part of your public space roof. And we can lock that into place. Then I'm going to take the private space roof and align that with my other dimension and lock that into place. Go ahead and click on your private space level line and click on the elbow tool, add elbow. So now we're just going to drag our elbow into place. Click on the name and call this top TOR. 01. And for the second one, TOR02. So now we need to add another one for our concrete roof over here. So we don't necessarily have to add a level line. We can go to annotate, spot elevation. And as you can see on white space, it shows you cannot place anything. That's because there's nothing to add a level to. So if we go to our concrete roof, you can either decide the top or the bottom. So I want to annotate the soffit. So I'm going to click on the bottom line, click, and if you go to the left, it'll drag out. If you go to the right, it will drag out. So I'm going to take mine to the left, like that, and do the same for my other concrete roof. I'll take it up and click. And now we have those heights annotated on our drawing. So now I want to turn on my crop region visible. I'm going to move this in to get the crop region above on the side and turn it back off again. So what we're going to do now, we're going to create a region fill. Let's go ahead and click on a region fill. You'll see Revit has opened up standard region fills, but we're going to create a new one for this area. So let's go edit type, duplicate, and call this earth, and hit OK. Now we need to change the foreground fill pattern. Let's go ahead and scroll down until you find earth. Apply and OK. So now I'm just going to use my pick lines tool and select my sight line. Okay, see here it essentially made a different line where I don't need one. So I'm just going to create another one over here. Trim and extend to connect those two lines. Going to do the same this side. Now we're just going to use our normal line tool. Take it down. Trim and extend this corner and hit OK. So highlighted lines currently intersect. So I have an overlapping line. I'll just see. Okay, there we go. Trim and extend. Edit type. Okay, so my foreground pattern didn't save. As you can see, this is not earth. So let's go back to edit type. Change our foreground fill pattern. Earth. Okay. Apply and okay. And I'm going to put on my crop region fill again just to get this line out the way. Switch it off. And there we have our first little elevation. So I'm just going to move this up. So if you want to change this, you don't have to change the name in your project browser. You can just click on the view and go to your properties panel, scroll all the way down. You'll see under identity data title on sheet. So I'm going to name this east elevation. And if you move your cursor over to the page, it will update. So to change this long line, you can just click on the view. You'll see that it will open up in editable mode, and you can drag it in. So let's place this one. I'm just going to put it on the side for now because we know that view been cleaned up. So now for the next one, north elevation. So do the same thing, I hide my sections, hide my reference lines. So now this wall, within my drawing, I found an error with my wall, so I just have to redraw it at the moment. So I'm just gonna go edit profile. I'm gonna use my pick lines tool just to align it with my other roof. Hit OK. There we go. So now I can hide the two top of roofs because we won't be seeing those roofs in this elevation. And I hide my wall plate, foundations. This is seeing I accidentally hit my finish floor level. Make sure that you don't hide your level 0 to give reference to the heights. So these ones I am going to hide as well. So let's go ahead and draw in our region fill while we're at the beginning. We'll use my pick lines tool again. Okay, so it doesn't want to snap to that cut pattern. So I am going to see something. Turn off my section box. So as you can see, we're currently looking into this section over here with the property. So I'm going to select my site and I'm going to hide it in this elevation. I'm going to press VG to hide my drawing file, go to imported categories, just unhide the drawing files, hit apply and OK. So what we can do now with our region fill, we know that's our floor slab, and we can just take it behind it and just throw in a rough estimate of where the ground would be. I'm going to finish so that we can see our elevation a bit clearer. So now I'm going to move up the crop here. Gonna unhide my crop region. I'm gonna take my level line, copy it. I'm gonna do 1 at the moment and align it to that my garage roof. As you can see, it is already updated for us. Top of roof 03. And now we can add another line for this one to make it the drawing look a bit more appealing. So I'm going to add another copy of a level line. So just click on TOR3, CO for copy, click on the level line and move it down. So we can leave this at TOR4 because the concrete roof is also a roof. So I'm happy with that. I'm just going to move my view title up. Remember to click on your view. Go to identity data, title on sheet, and rename this north elevation. So I'm gonna move that into place. Bring in my east elevation, and now because we added two new level lines, it will also show up on the views that we have created. So I'm going to hide them, and let's just fix this error over here because our private space finished floor level is above our finished floor level. So go ahead and click on it, click on elbow, and just move that elbow up so that our finished floor level is also visible. And now we can rinse and repeat for the next two. So we know this one's west, we know this one's south. I'm just going to move that a bit up to properly space my elevations on my sheet. So I'm going to change my title on sheet salon, west elevation, let's go ahead and hide our sections again. Do the same for your reference plans. And now we don't want to see wall plate, and wall plate. TO3, we're not seeing that. We are not seeing TOR4. Foundation H, we are not seeing. Okay, we want to see private space. Foundation B, we are not seeing. Foundation C, we are not seeing. And foundation level, we aren't seeing. So now I'm just going to click this and drag it out of my drawing a bit. So now I want to change this side section to a better look. So I'm going to go to my site plan. Just click on your reveal hidden elements. And now you can see Revit has told that this elevation is on sheet A103 and it's elevation number 4. Because if you click on the number 4, you'll see a line pop up. That is your elevation view and cut line. So I'm going to move this up onto my property so that it cuts through the entire site. And I'm just going to unselect my reveal hidden elements and go back to my elevation sheet. And as you can see here, it's cut nice and clean through. So now I want to do the same for my west elevation. Go to your site plan, reveal hidden elements. As you can see, there is our view. So I want this to cut on my site. So we're going to go split segment like we did with our section lines. So I want it to cut roughly over here. As you can see, where you take your cursor at the bottom, it's moving the bottom line and the direction. With the top, it's also the same. So I'm going to move this in to there. So I'm going to also select these movable lines so I can move this in so that I don't get a white cut space over there. So that should be fine. Let's go have a look on our elevation sheet. And as you can see, there's a nice clean side cut. I'm just gonna move my crop region up. I'm gonna hide my crop region. And garage wall plate needs to be hidden. And now I'm gonna create an elbow to clean up my dimensions. Do the same for this one. Do the same for this one. That looks a lot better. So let's add our, to annotate, let's add our spot elevations. We'll need to add one for our concrete roof. Just keep in mind that we'll need to keep the annotations the same as we did with our other elevations. So let's tag the bottom. So let's go to spot elevation under annotate and select the bottom. And let's tag our, let's do the same for our other. We can also add our slopes to our elevations. So if you placed one, you don't have to go back to annotate. You can just select your slope arrow and press CS. And then just place it and drag it into place. Okay. One more elevation left. Okay, so let's go ahead and clean up our last elevation. Just gonna move my V tag into place. Just gonna see if I have another tag. I do have additional tags. So now I'm going to leave this crop region view on the side. I want to move my left hand side in. So it's fine. I'm just gonna unhide it. Now let's hide our section lines as well. Visible in view, hide view elements. I'm gonna, we want to see the back part of our house as well. So we need to go back to our site plan, click on your number 4 or your south elevation. As you can see, our view plane is only till the garage. So we need to pull this back so that we can see our private space area as well. So with that being moved back, we can go to elevations and we'll see the back part is now visible. So I'm gonna hide my reference plans. And let's clean up our drawing. I'm just gonna hide my level lines. Oops, not category. Element. I'm just gonna move it out the way so that it doesn't clash with my drawing. Side the section, got left behind. hide the foundation. Gonna create an elbow. Hide the garage wall plate. I'm going to hide that. Now I want to hide my drawing file. So I'm gonna press VG, imported categories, and just hide the drawing files. And now let's tag these two concrete roofs. Let's get annotate, spot elevation. I'm just going to create a tag. I'll take this one first. Then let's take that one. Just try and to align them. So now you see that these walls aren't going into our site. So I'm just gonna drag them so that they look nice. So see. Okay, so normally this would be on the side, due to us moving our site down. That's why it's not connecting. So I'm just gonna take this to minus 1000 to see what happens. Oh, accidentally put in. Okay, so minus 1000 is too far. Minus 1300. Let's go minus 1250. That looks better. Let's see our elevations. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Just gonna hide the site over there to keep this full line. So this looks a lot better at this moment. So I'm just gonna move this up, move my view tag up, and I need to change the name. Title on sheet. This is the south elevation. And let's clean up our viewports, our view tags. You'll see that if you drag it, it will automatically align with the previous ones that we've created. Let's just align everything like that. Let's just double check our level lines. I'm gonna hide the garage floor line on this one. That's fine. I see my drawing files didn't hide on that one. So hide it. And there's our elevations. That's been cleaned up nicely. We have our site plan with our floor plan. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna take, we have our window schedule. We have our door schedule. So I'm gonna put this to council submission so that this falls underneath my drawing pack. So now this needs to be after my elevations. So I'm going to change my sheet number under my identity data. I'm going to change this to 104. Elevations need to change to 102. And now we need to create a new sheet. I'm going to also put this under council submission because we need to create a drawing for our section. So the name, sheet name for this, under your properties panel, you can rename to sectional elevation. And I'm going to take the section that we've drawn in on our floor plan. Just need to get the correct number, section 7. So now I'm going to go to my sheet and take section 7, drag and drop onto my sheet. So now that's a bit too small. So I need to change my scale. So go ahead and select your view. And let's make the scale 1 to 50, still a bit small, 1 to 25 to place the section on our drawing. Just going to clean this up, hide my reference plane, hide my other section, hide the reference plane, so that we won't see, we won't see that wall plate. Gonna hide that, gonna hide that, just so we can clean this up. Garage we won't see. So I'm gonna move this a bit more up to extend my crop view so we can get a nice picture of the entire section. And I'm going to adjust my crop view and switch it off. So that looks a lot cleaner. And just remember, if this is outside of your sheet, move it within the lines for when we do our publishing. So let's change our sheet name. Let's go title and sheet, sectional elevation A. Now as you can see, we gave it an A. So if you click on your viewport, if you go into your viewport, then you'll see your detail number will need to be adjusted now because we have named this section A and we need to change this 1 to an A. So by changing our detail number, if you go to our floor plan, you'll see that your section tag is also updated. So let's go ahead and clean this up further. Okay, seems that there is a clash, so go ahead and click on your site, excavate, and click on the floor slab for that to be excavated. I'm going to just try and join this with the foundation wall. Okay, so it's cut this. I'm going to try and do that in 3D rather. Okay, so it seems that my floor boundary isn't connecting to my wall. So I'll need to click on my floor, edit boundary, AL, select my face I want to connect this to, and go don't attach, and that has cleaned up. So I'm going to move my site back down to 1500 so that we get a better finish here. We'll fix this in a moment. So this is the type of things that you'll need to do once you have started to finish your drawing. This is why I kept mentioning cleaning up while you do your drawing so that you don't need to go through this process at the end of it. So that looks a lot better. As you can see, our site is now lower than our floor. So I'm going to double check. We are cutting through there currently. So now we need to add compact fill to this area. So I'm going to select the floor, go to my top ribbon, copy, paste, align to selected level. I'm just going to save my project. Let's go to finish floor level. Now you'll see that highlighted floors are overlapping. So now we need to select one of these floors. That go edit type, duplicate, compact, fill, and I am going to delete the two core boundaries. Create. Now we need to create a new material. So let's go create new material. Rename that material to compact fill. We don't need a surface pattern, but we do need a cut pattern. So for this, I'm going to put in a diagonal crosshatch, apply and OK. OK. Thickness, let's make that 150. Apply and OK. OK. So now I am going to move that floor down using my arrow keys. And I want to align it with the bottom of my floor slab. As you can see, that's already a lot better. Now I wanna edit my topo solid so that it's not grass and earth. So I just want this to stay at earth. So go ahead and delete the other two and go OK, apply and OK. As you can see, that's starting to look a lot better. So now we need to do the same for this floor slab. In this instance, if you do not know if you do not want to copy this like we did with this procedure, we can go to annotate, region, diagonal crosshatch, and we can just create a full area. So I'm just going to drag these in first, and then I'm going to use my pick lines tool to see if I can select. It seems like I can't select that at the moment, so I'm just going to drag in a rectangle and go OK. And now we have a compact fill underneath our main floor as well. So this looks a lot better. There's our ceiling that we've created with our purlins. So now we need to go and create a cut pattern for these purlins. By that, we can just do DL on your keyboard, go to line style and select thin lines. So now we are just going to draw in these little X's on our purlins. So once you've drawn in one, just go ahead and select both of them, go to create group, just go OK, it's CO for copy, and we can just copy them to the rest. So now this one we can mirror. We can go to our top ribbon under modify, use mirror by picking the axis. And just click on this because we know that's the center line and it will be in the correct position. So now I want to copy this to the rest. I'm going to go CO. And there we have a nice purlin finish. So I just need to see why that is That's the level line, so it's not actually going through that, which is good. With our gutters, now we need to do a ridge cap at some point as well. So that's our truss, our wall opening, braai, with our door. Oh, this is looking quite nice at the moment. So let's see if we can tag our room as well. So just remember on your floor plan, if you want to tag a room, you go to your top ribbon under room and area, a room, and you can place your tags. But with this floor being higher than our finished floor, as you can see, the tag is not picking up that room. So even if I've set the base offset to 680, upper limit to private space wall plate, then it will still not show within this view. So the solution for your room tags to create a room schedule. So the tag popped up there. I'm just gonna hide that from my floor plan. Just gonna delete this tag as well. So the solution to our room tags would be on area. We can click on area plan, and we want to use our finished floor level. Just go OK. Automatically create area boundary lines associated with all external walls. We can say yes. So now it opens up this. So now we have to hide all of our drawing files again. I'm going to hide my site as well. I'm going to hide all my section lines. I'm going to hide all my reference planes. And you'll see these purple lines which Revit has created for us. So we'll need to go and clean all of this up. But sometimes if you do the auto way, Revit doesn't always know where to put these lines. I'm just going to delete most of them, or all of them, and restart this process. And I'm going to go architecture, area, boundary. I'm going to use my rectangle tool for my garage. And I'm just going to drag it in like that. And now we can go tag area. And there's our garage. I'm going to use my area boundary with the rectangle tool just as an example to show how this would be used. So that my lounge, I'm going to take it to there as my dining, my kitchen. So then I'm just going to move this up. Go to your room and area, click on area at the drop down and area once again. And then we can add these tags. So I'm just going to quickly go through these areas and trace them. We're supposed to sit on the wall. And then my room. Let's do a rectangle over here and over there on our little bathroom. And I'm going to draw a big rectangle over it. And let's go and finish that off. There we have all our rooms. So now I'm gonna go to my top ribbon, area, area, and I'm just going to tag all of them. So now you can go ahead and rename them. Garage, foyer, lounge, kitchen, dining, braai room, passage, bedroom 03, bathroom 1, bed 02, bed 01, ensuite. So there we have our room tags, and we can go to our site plan. We want to add our room schedule to this page. So let's go to schedules and quantities in your project browser. Right click on it, new schedule of quantities. What do we want to do? So we clicked on our area tool, and now you need to go and find that page that has been opened up. So my area plan used a rentable space, as you can see next to the name. So now I'm going to right click on schedule, new schedule of quantities, areas, rentable, and hit OK. I want the area of the room and I want the name of the room. So just adjust this so that the name is first. And we can go filter, no filter, sorting. We want to itemize all instances. Formatting area, we will need calculation. So go ahead and click on calculation, calculate totals. And appearance, blank row before data. Now we have to go back to sorting and select grand totals to switch it on. Let's go OK. And there is our area schedule. So now we'll need to change this to match our title block. My shading is black. My font is Bunchscript and the font color is an off-white. I'm gonna hit OK. Let's see appearance. And OK, that seems fine. I'm gonna go to my site plan and use my schedule that we've created and drag and drop that onto my drawing. And there you have your area schedule. So we have our site plan, elevations, section, and our window schedule. So now we need to annotate this drawing. So let's take a 5-minute break and then we'll get to the annotation side of things. Welcome back after the break. Let's go ahead and annotate our drawings. So first we will need to create a keynote tag. So let's go to File, New, Family. Please go to Annotations, Metric Generic Tag. Open that up. And you'll see that Revit is giving you an instruction of what to do. So let's go click on our family category and parameters. To see what is in there, as you can see, there's keynotes, hardscape, handrail, gutter tags, all sorts of different tags. So we will be using keynote tags. So go ahead and select keynote and go OK. Now we have set the start of this to keynotes. So we will be creating two types of keynotes. Go ahead and delete the text in red. And now we are going to go create, label, and just click on screen. And you'll see now keynote, key value, keynote text, multi, leader tag, host count. We want to use keynote text. Go ahead and click on keynote text and hit the green add parameter. And we can go apply and OK. And here is our keynote. So we want to justify this to the left and create another keynote that's justified to the right. So I'm going to move this to there and go to my properties panel under horizontal align left, and you'll see it will move. So now I just need to readjust that. So I'm going to go file, save as, family. I'm just going to save this where I can find it later and say keynote right. Because it's aligned on the left, we'll be using this on the right side of our drawing so that our right annotations are aligned on the left hand side and vice versa for the left. Go save. So now I just want to change my label, edit type. Need to change my text because I'm using Bunchcraft. Text size needs to be adjusted to 2.5 and go apply and OK. So now we can just save it again. And now I want to flip it to the other side. So I'm going to go horizontal alignment, right, and just drag it into place that side. And go file, save as, family. And this is keynote left. Save. Now we have two keynote families. So I'm going to go and close this family since I've already saved it. Now we need to go to a folder of ours and we need to create our keynotes. If you go and right click inside of the folder, go new, text document, and just call this project keynotes. And if you open up this text file, you will be greeted with an empty page. Okay, let's close some of these. So now we want to go look at where we're going to start annotating. So for now, we're going to start on our section. So let's go ahead and start with our walls. So we know this wall is a 270mm cavity wall. So go ahead and go to your text file and start with the category of items. So just write walls, press enter to give it the start of this category. Then we are going to name this new 270 millimeter wall. So do not, after wall, do not hit spacebar. We need to create a description category. So we're gonna go tab to create a description category. And now we're gonna name this new 270 millimeter cavity wall with 50 millimeter cavity in center. Wall to be finished with plaster and paint. Certain paint, and then we can press tab again so that we link it back to our walls. So let's go tab and walls. So at the end of your keynote, keynotes are case sensitive, so this needs to match this. And if I go file, save, just to show you what we have created, I'm gonna go to annotate, keynote, hit the drop down menu, go keynote settings. My previous keynote is not on here anymore, so I'm gonna go OK, browse, and I'm gonna go find that keynote list that we have created. And you can see there it is. So I'm gonna click on it and go open. Keynote loaded successfully. Let's go OK. View what we have created. And as you can see, our wall category with a drop down, our key value has been set, and there is our keynote text. So what this does, if I hit OK, OK, I want to set that keynote onto this wall. So I'm going to go back to my top ribbon, hit the drop down key element keynote, and as you can see, I have not, this is my old one, so let's import our keynote tags that we have created. So I'm going to go keynote right, and I'm just going to drag and drop this into my project. Keynote left, drag and drop. So now we want to work on our left hand side. So I'm going to go keynote in my top ribbon under annotate, keynote, hit the drop down, keynote right, keynote left. There's those two tags. I want to work on my left hand side of my drawing. So let's use keynote left. I'm going to go edit type. So I want to add a leader arrowhead. Let's see what we have in the project. So I want to use arrow filled 30 degrees. I need to apply and OK. Now you can see a little question mark popping up on our drawing. So I'm going to select my wall and just drag and click, because that is our leader that we have created for the first and second click. Now the third click is where we want to start our text. So I'm just going to click over there. And now this is going to pop up because Revit's asking us which keynote do you want to associate with all of our walls, our cavity walls within the project. So I want to select that one that we've just created and go OK. And there you can see our keynote tag. So if we now go and adjust the keynote, let's go at 50 millimeter cavity. Let's add in, let's go back to our drawing. I'm just going to tag these as well to show you what this does. So this is on the right hand side of my drawing. So I want to go right. And as you can see, we need to set this arrow field as well because it's a different family. I'm just going to set that there and put this one there. So now we have three keynotes. So normally with text, if you want to change the specification, you'll need to go change all three of them. So let's go and change our specification. Okay, galvanized butterfly pliers to be used in cavity 3 to 4 ties to be placed within every square meter. Just change my spelling. Square meter. Brick force needs to be added every 45 brick layers. And now we have a new specification. So I'm gonna go File, Save. Remember always to save your text file, otherwise it won't update in Revit. And let's update our text. So we're gonna go back to Keynote, hit the drop down, Keynote settings, and just hit reload. Okay, okay, and there all of your text would update. This is a lot more efficient way to do annotations within Revit. So now, let's say I want to edit my Keynote family. Go to Edit Family, and I'm going to select my label that we've created. Go Edit Label, Keynote Value. Just move that over as well. Go OK. So now we have two in our text note. I'm going to load that into project, override existing version, save my project. So what the key value does is if you click on your key tag, it would allow you to create only a keynote value for your tag and not only show the description. Just want to see keynote value. Am I using the correct one at the moment? Oh yeah, there is my error. So I need to go edit family, edit label, need to remove my keynote value, go create label, tag, keynote value, okay, create my horizontal align to right and place that over the other one, load into project, overwrite. Okay, so now we have to set visibility graphics on it. Edit family, net value, need to go and select, create parameter, key value, data type. We want to set this at text. Okay. create another one. Keynote description text. Okay, let's see if that had worked. And then you can unclick. He was supposed to be hiding. So let me just go check what my other family is saying that I've created. I placed you on top of that. So did you exactly the same way, and why aren't you working with me? Okay, so we need to go to, so if you're still in your family creator for your tags, go to properties, family types. Just make sure I've selected key value. So I want to keep key values selected and create a new type and say key value. Okay, okay. Now I want to create a new one. Key description. Okay, and click on description. Let's go apply and okay. Load into project. Override. Let's see. There we go. Now we can see that Keynote left as both of them. Keynote description only has the description, and key value should only have the value. Okay, so let me go check my family again. Properties, key value, key value. Okay, we need to set a visible for our description. Okay, let's test if this has been. We got key value, key description. Now we have different settings for our keynote. So let's say if your drawing gets too populated, you can change this to key value, and this would then only show the tag text. So you can go add our leader arrowhead, and now you can go and create keynotes for the roof slab, the bright slab, the middle wall, the roof truss, the purlins, every element within your drawing you can create a keynote for. Just to show you my standard keynotes, what I've used. So if I take this and I copy this text, copy, go to my text file, I'm just going to hit enter and paste them. File, save, go to my section, and I'm going to go to annotate, keynote settings, reload, view, There is all my keynotes that I use. So now you can go okay, okay. I'm just gonna go into my section, press VG and hide all of these elements. So now I want to tag keynote element, and this is my floor, keynote right. So I'll have to drag it to the right. So floor, okay. There we have our floor keynote. So let's say you only want to use your keynote values. We can go to our schedule of quantities, right click, and go to your legend. Right click, new keynote legend. On keynote legends one, hit OK, and you'll see that it's already been grouped within the used area, and you can go OK. And that's the only two keynotes that we have in at the moment. So if I go to my section, let's say I only tag new floor. If I take in my keynote, okay, that's my text, my keynote legend. Just space it better, and then you can add a legend showcasing new 270mm wall, and then it gives the description, the new floor, and it gives that description as well to prevent your drawing from becoming too cluttered. So there we have our window schedule. We've done a section with our keynotes. I'm just going to remove that. Elevations. You can also use your keynotes on your elevations to tag certain elements. You can also create keynotes for your window schedule. You can see I have my window, so I'm just going to click that to show you. Even your doors and stairs, everything can be noted with a keynote. So if you want to go, let's use our doors as an example. If you go on edit type and scroll down to identity data, with your family, you can already pre-set up a keynote for it to show within here. So if you go hit the drop down, okay, then doors, let's see, let's select that one. Okay, and you'll see keynote is D01, apply and okay. But now there's no keynote showing. So we can go to our top ribbon under annotate keynote, and then we can just tag it. Same goes for your floor plan. If you want to add annotations to your floor plan, we can go and add our annotations. It's going to call my toilet. Let's just use this keynote for the example. And this is how you can annotate your drawings. So you can use either the keynote value as a window or door tag, or we can go tag by category in your top panel. If you go tag by category, and it will tag only the element that you have selected. What I would normally do in a project is I go tag all, and Revit will ask me what do you want to tag. So I'll go door tags, apply and OK, and then Revit will automatically tag all of your doors. Let's say you want to name this back door as DO1, as door 1, because we know that that door and that door is the same. So we can go click on the door, edit type, and you'll see type mark 22. Let's check this door, edit type mark 22. So we will normally use a type mark annotation for this, but you can also click on that door and this door and go to your properties panel under mark. You can change it DO1, okay, and then you'll see it has updated. So now we want to publish our council plan set of drawings. Let's just rename our last one to window and door schedule, and let's go use our PDF option in your top ribbon. I like to keep the file name as is. What we want to do now is set our council submission as a drawing pack. So let's go selected views and sheets. Just click on that and go to the little pencil. So what now we want to tell Revit that drawing A100 to A104 is a drawing pack. So let's go create a new empty set. Just call this council pack. Go OK. Now you'll see that your select print set council pack, and let's just click the sheets we want part of that pack. And let's go select. Do you want to save this for a future Revit session? Yes, we would like to save that. Page size. We know the drawings are done on A1. So offset from corner, no margin, 50 page, and let's just save our location. And save your output and printing location. So let's go export. Do you want to save these changes? Yes. Let's call this cancel pack. Go OK. Now Revit will do its thing. I'm going to open my folder. There is my PDF. And if we look at this, there is our nice little site plan and floor plan drawing with our tags. Then we'll get to our elevations. And then we'll get to our section. And then our window and door schedule.